This is drawing out so much suppressed passion and creativity that's been dead.
Am I literally having my creativity drained out?
It's always been adapt or die. Hollywood becomes an algorithm. Everything will shrink down to become slop.
We're making slop, cooking up some slop. Come and get your slop.
Hey guys, today's guest on Slop Glory is filmmaker Ryan Lightbourn. He's been blowing up the scene with his AI short films that are amazing. He has a ton of insight on filmmaking, AI filmmaking, where this is all going, how much time we have before AI slop takes over. He thinks possibly 3 years. I think maybe 6 months. We'll see. So this is a great conversation for any new AI filmmakers that are curious about what's going on in the slopverse. Enjoy.
You've gotten a lot of hate on
Yeah.
a line from Satoshi Sunrise. Is it seems like you're kind of like anticipating that, or that's part of the plan. Or I mean, you
Yeah, absolutely. That stuff doesn't bother me at all. I used to work for this guy who we would co-direct music videos together, and he would create music videos with the intent on upsetting people. Some people liking it, some people hating it, but sort of that, combination boosting it in the algorithms. And this was a long time ago. So I mean the algorithm was completely different back then. But these things would take off. Like we would shoot music videos for independent artists that would like their song would end up on HBO Girls. One of our music videos ended up in Ray Donovan, the Showtime show. People like Howard Stern, Perez Hilton, like they would feature these videos, and it was all strategized. Like I used to tell him he was crazy when we were on set. I was like, "What are you thinking?" And he knew exactly what he was doing. So I mean, it's basically I'm taking what I saw him do back then, and I'm using that to my advantage now. So
yeah, that's
that's
brilliant.
yeah. It doesn't. I'm not like the kind of person who is emotionally affected by criticisms and hate and all of that stuff. Doesn't mean anything. You go and look at these people's timelines, and it's just the exact same timeline, just like political slop, just a slew of political slop. Sometimes they're in some other dystopian, or dystopium, whatever you want to call it, like scene or group, whatever it is. Because like this one, World Hunger X came after me. I
Well, I
didn't
didn't
even
see
know
that.
it was a World Hunger X,
No.
but yeah, because I don't remember what I even used in the post, but something about world hunger, solving world hunger with all the money saved through
Oh,
AI.
right.
So
Yeah.
World Hunger Twitter came after me, and so now I'm thinking, I'm like, what, who else do I go after? I do want to go after Clean Energy X
Yeah.
next.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's an
Well,
easy one.
how do you? I saw also that you had to release like a censored version. What's up with that? Like,
Yeah. So we actually, I'm going to make a post about this. So Sean from MoonPay and I figured out that something was wrong. So we posted the video very quickly. It went to like 50,000 views. And then in the stats or whatever on X, it flatlined. Like something was clearly wrong. And we figured out there's something called hash matching on X. We posted a video. Eventually, it became popular. So X scanned the video, saw
hmm.
gore in the middle of the video. Actually, it was not gore. It was the guy's kind of flappy breasts in the middle, like the tubby guy. It was his boobs. We figured out that was hash.
No.
And then what it does with the hash match is it takes the first 10 seconds of that video. Any censored version of that video that we would upload that had the first 10 seconds in it was getting blocked because the first 10 seconds was hash matched. And you can figure out if your video has been shadow banned by copying the URL, texting it to someone. And if the post preview shows up, you're good to go. But if it's a generic X logo, it has been shadow banned. So like I guarantee you your stuff's shadow banned.
Yeah,
And
for
you can
sure.
work around it by creating a burner account, uploading your video into parts until you figured out what is the shadow band part. I figured out by breaking up that whole 7.5 minute video and uploading in little segments until I narrowed down it was the guy's boobs. They were kind of like squashed underneath his little like metal armor thing that he's wearing. And so that's what was causing it.
Holy
I don't even
shit.
like I could have probably gotten away with a lot more of the gore not being
Yeah.
censored.
I was gonna say it's
Just
so
to be
yeah.
safe, yeah. Yeah. I mean it's like super censored now because we knew something was wrong. And once this was all figured out, we dropped it a week later and it blew up. So yeah,
Whoa.
so I'm actually gonna make a post about that because I know there are a lot of AI filmmakers that are
Yeah.
annoyed by how the algo is clearly suppressing their work.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. You
Well,
guaranteed, like I said,
yeah,
100%.
I gotta cool off. I just like pushing the, the model to see what it'll do, but then it's like, well, yeah, I can't
Yeah. But I
post
mean,
it.
you're doing what you love, and that's what I do. And it's like I kind of knew this was a thing. I didn't know all of like I didn't have it solved and figured out all the pieces of the puzzle that go together to shadow ban things. I didn't understand that until this video, but I knew there was something up with the stuff I was posting because I would see the algo would just send it, and it was like really good like to comment ratio, whatever. All the ratios look good, and then it would just flatline. Uh,
Whoa.
and so yeah, that's what it is.
Dude, that's
Pretty.
brilliant. I can't
So
believe
we
you
we had to
broke.
change. Yeah, we had to change the first 10 seconds, even though the first 10 seconds nothing crazy happens in them,
Yeah.
in order to get around the hash matching, because even the censored version was still getting shadow banned. We were
Wow.
uploading it from the burner, and it was still showing a generic X logo if we tried to share it over a text. So I had to change. I just reran the inference on those first 10 shots, and I changed out the very first shot, and that is what fixed it. So you've got two things. You've got to figure out what is censored, fix that, censor it, and then you have to change your first 10 seconds, and then boom, you're allowed in the algo again.
Man, that's wild. How do you
Yeah,
think about, because I know well, when we spoke last time, you were talking about the algorithm and how like that's kind of the future. I mean, this must like freak you out. Like knowing that the algorithm is, running the show. I mean, what does
oh
that,
yeah,
I mean, does that mean we're all just going to be like out constantly thinking about some algorithm, and trying to like,
absolutely, yeah. So we're cracking a code, and that's the way that Sean from MoonPay and I we said we're going to crack this code. And before the shadow banning started, we talked about the fact that we have to beat the algo. It's like a battle of us versus the algo, and winning that war where the algo is it's going to test us among certain crowds, demographics, and you have to perform a certain way or your video is dead. That's it. And
wow,
the first hour of posting is extremely important. You really want to perform well in that first hour, or else it and things can be revived. So like if some major account finds some old post, it can revive certain things, but not with the shadow ban. If you have the shadow ban and you're hash matched, your first 10 seconds has been hash matched, this is, got something funny in it, then you're screwed. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this is what we have to think about going forward as content creators. If we're going to get some kind of distribution and be on like Netflix or something like that, it's a different story. But as content creators, if you were planning on using social media, you absolutely have to understand the algorithm,
yeah.
which it's not publicly released. There's no like you can't go on GitHub and you know see how these algorithms are created. We just have to use sort of history and what has been posted by others to try to crack that code.
And I mean, aren't they changing too? I mean, aren't they constantly
They
kind of
do.
like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And they're going to continue to change. So it's always going to be this sort of process of learning and adapting and figuring out how it works. Like TikTok is crazy. I was trying to use Claude and Chat GPT to like fully understand the TikTok algorithm. And again, they're different between social media outlets. So it's just it's
yeah.
something we're just gonna have to deal with, and part of the process from here on out.
Dude, you just made me think, is there a way to like vibe code something that would get on top of that algorithm or like feel it out or something? Is there any way to like get a finger on what it's looking for? Or you just have to trial and error it? Like,
I mean, trial and error, I think.
yeah,
Again, like people have posted certain things, like other people will learn about the algorithm. They'll figure something out and they'll post about it. And, it's just using a database of, I mean, maybe that's what needs to happen is some kind of like community, a group of people who
yeah,
crack that code.
man, dude, this is going to be so helpful for people to hear. I mean, that's wild. There's so much more to just like drop in your stuff beyond just
I
making it,
know.
it's like wild. Do you like do you feel a pressure or anything like having that like all those views and like blowing up like of making more stuff? Like do you feel the pull like, oh, I gotta like put something out quick to like capitalize on momentum, or are you just gonna stick to like making these kind of like standalone pieces?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm old. I have kids. This is not my full-time job or anything like that. Uh, so it's more or less I have to work at my own pace. And if that hurts what happens to my accounts in the long run, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Uh, when we talked before, I talked about the whole AI thing being kind of this 3-year trade, which I'm a good couple of months into. And I see it becoming so utterly oversaturated that it's going to be so cutthroat, and you're going to have to spend so much time and effort to get your stuff out there and noticed and whatnot. I think being early is important. So like all other people who are early have a better chance of like locking in something with a studio or executive producer that wants to push something to like Netflix or Amazon or something like that. I think you're going to see that. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but there are definitely lots of AI filmmakers lining up calls with industry folk that I don't think it's like super out there, but that's going to become very well known very soon. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah.
and the people who are early are going to be the lucky ones, because the ones that come into the picture 3 years from now, it's going to be such an oversaturated market. It's going to be very difficult to become noticed.
I have the more I'm like talking to AI filmmakers now, it who all have very different, like kind of like aesthetics and styles, it does still seem to me like, I mean, I like obviously I agree with you. That's just the way things are going. But then there's also this thing where like you have to account for taste. Like let me run something by you and see what you think, because like I think like you said, I think you still use like an old version of Flux or something, right? To like develop kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
So like you like I'm sure a lot very few people, most people move on to the next like flashy model, right? Or
oh
whatever.
yeah.
And so like you're gonna have people like yourself that are like using different models, like different configurations, coming up with these unique kind of like styles, and that's only going to grow. There's only going to be more models, more. So I wonder if like there's, I mean, beyond just aesthetics, of course, like there's so much that goes into it, like your experience as a filmmaker, which also is part of the equation. But it's like I maybe it's the optimist in me, but I see like that taste and these different configurations that the given creative will use being setting them apart of people who just go into a model and just like type in a prompt and get a. What do you
Yeah,
think about that?
I
Or do you?
agree with you. Yeah, I mean, people
Okay.
are going to stand out because they like what I mentioned to you about how I use the old school Flux to create a LoRa, which is like my style LoRa. That's the foundation of everything. When I started Nano Banana Pro, I'm bringing in those images that I've created in my version of Flux to make sure it has my stamp on it. And so that's going to be extremely important, because if you're going generic C dance or you're going generic cling or whatever, you're not going to stand out. And I see a lot of these videos, and I see a lot of these like really cool like cyber future, whatever, dystopian action scenes. You're seeing a lot of that with the C dance releases. I mean, they're cool, but like they're all kind of the same, and that goes with what you're talking about. And I do agree with you there. you're going to see people who are going to stand out. And as long as they can beat the algo and get noticed, because that's the thing, is like, it's going to be this absolute ocean of AI filmmakers, because it's going to become so quick and so easy to create that if you have zero following and you're absolutely brilliant, as long as you can beat the algo where they take your content and you are given a test run. TikTok, you're given a test run. Some of those people are going to break out just because the algo is going to give them a chance. I think TikTok gives you something like 1,000 views just as a test with the algo. Very quickly that'll die off if you're don't have a good like to view ratio, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's definitely, there will be some exceptions where people are just so utterly brilliant that they do stand out. But I think like what we are creating right now as AI filmmakers, we're going to get absolutely blown out of the water by all of the hidden talent that's never been able to come out in the world and show what they're capable of. And again, some of us may be that talent, you know,
I
because
mean,
we're
that's
going to,
you, bro. That's you, bro. You're the guy that came out of nowhere. I mean, even
I
though you have
mean,
all this experience, but but with the AI tools, I mean, like in that
yeah, yeah,
realm,
yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, but like we talked about this before, all we're doing, you and I, are just making what we would have made if we had a
yeah,
big budget. We were given
totally.
money, we would have been making the same shit. Uh, So yeah, I personally feel like there's going to be some utterly astounding stuff that comes out that we've never seen anything of the sort, that blows our minds. But again, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing what I do and see where it goes. And I mean, your stuff as well. Like it's clearly, I mentioned before when we were chatting, like you can see the filmmaker edge. I think traditional filmmakers do certainly have an edge from a storytelling standpoint. And like your stuff is consistent. Like it doesn't have that AI slop look, because you can see that it's been graded to have like a consistent uh, cinematic look throughout. And like your blocking and everything as well. Like there's a lot of stuff I see wrong with the people who never step foot on set with their blocking, with like the actors in motion and flow and like over the shoulders and that kind of thing. It's all jacked up. So I do think the traditional filmmakers, at least for now and for a little while, do have an edge in that department as well for standing out. Uh, I don't know that I would tell somebody who's an aspiring AI filmmaker. I don't know if I'd be like, yeah, go get 10 years of
Right.
filmmaking experience, because it's too late. 10 years is too late. And I
Yeah.
think they are going to learn narrative storytelling by watching and learning and seeing where they're going wrong. Go watch a traditional film and be like, okay, this is why this works and why my stuff is weird. Like it's not really, doesn't have the emotional impact. So I don't know. It's
That's yeah, and also I wonder because like the new like C dance and also Klingon. I think these new models like you can start with the reference image and then you prompt like the additional scenes and it just
yeah,
uses your references and it creates its own version. I'm curious like because I've been messing with that, but it doesn't it doesn't give you the control the same way that like you're using it and that I use it where you're like setting up you're getting almost it's like slow motion filmmaking where you're like
yeah,
getting like a wide or you're pushing in and each it's way more time consuming but you have control over that kind of like cinematic language which you're not getting with these newer models where they're like hey we'll just take care of it all in the back end like you
yeah.
just so yeah it's interesting like
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out. Like,
yeah
is C Dance 3.0 going to be a better narrative storyteller as far as like the blocking with the actors and the shot setups than somebody who was a traditional filmmaker? That's going to be interesting, and nobody really has the answer for that yet. But that stuff is definitely going to improve, and that's why it would be hard for me again. Like, so many people are like, can you give me some info on how you do this, and like can you write up a tutorial? And my tutorial is filmmaking experience.
yeah
Like being a filmmaker for 12 years was my personal tutorial. I mean, that's all it was. I've always been into technology, and I mean, I was like mining crypto years ago, and so I'm used to Linux and terminals. And so when it was comfy UI and AI, and there's so many parallels between crypto mining and node-based AI, generative AI workflows. So it was just this kind of like natural fit for me. A lot of people would talk about how they didn't want to mess with comfy because it took all of the creative energy out of them. It extracted that creative energy. But for me, it was, I love that stuff. So it helped. It almost was like merging all of my passions together into one.
That's amazing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel the exact same way, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, because you mentioned you have like 250 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Is that did you get that for crypto mining, or did you
No, no,
just
no,
double
no.
that's for AI?
Yeah, no, it's for AI.
I see.
I mean, crypto mining on GPUs has been dead for,
Right, right.
I mean, it's probably
Yeah.
2020 was the last time I messed
Right,
with that.
right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was for the generative AI stuff.
Okay.
I've got like
Man.
and I use ChatGPT for this. I've got a server built into my fireplace that I can connect to from my phone, and I can power it on and off from my phone. And this is amazing. I use coding with ChatGPT to build a modified version of Linux that runs Comfy UI, and I power it on and off from my phone, and I access it from my phone in the web browser. It's just unbelievable. I don't code, so I mean, this was using AI to build this machine to make my workflow more efficient.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, you use ChatGPT or Claude?
Back then I
Or
used ChatGPT. I use Claude probably more so now.
are you using Claude Code or Claude Cowork or
No, I
anything?
just
Or
use, right. I
just
don't even pay
basic?
for it. I just
Yeah,
use
yeah.
now. I think
Dude,
now
that's
they give me
amazing.
like one chat every 6 hours, or like one message every 6 hours, but just do like a
Amazing.
private window and set up another account and all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna pay for Claude pretty soon. I mean,
Yeah, and it seems like Claude Code, everyone's like raving about it. Like it's the
yeah,
best thing.
I don't even know what Claude Code is.
That's
No,
amazing,
no idea.
dude. Yeah, I haven't used it yet. So, but
Is
people are
that the
buying.
agentic version or something like that?
Yeah, and you can like, it's really good at like coding apps and stuff and what you
Yeah.
need. And yeah. Wait, so you're not a filmmaker full time? Are you doing like trading? Can I ask, or do you
Oh
not want
yeah,
to
no, I
say?
mean
Or
that's what I started doing in 2020. So like I stopped filmmaking in 2021.
okay.
So in 2020, I sold my house. The COVID crash happened, and I plunged a lot of money into crypto. I lived in a motorhome, and I actually circled the U.S. for like a year
What?
with like a substantial crypto investment. And then in 2021, I pulled out when it got absolutely bonkers. And that was kind of like, yeah, but see, like in 2020, the influencer thing was starting to blow up. And I could see from a mile away that that was going to replace what I was doing at the time, which was directing social media spots, like corporate
Mm,
social media spots. Uh, and when the lockdowns happened, I knew damn well the influencers were going to take over, because we were like, where we would go shoot in a Walmart store that's filled with people. We weren't allowed to do that during COVID. So
mm,
all of those jobs died down. And I knew once they started using the influencers for all of their social media spots and like product placement and that kind of thing, it was game over for us as social media spot crews, uh, because they were going to save so much money. I could see how effective it was becoming. And again, it's like people hate the AI, generative AI people. I didn't hate the influencers. I didn't
right.
cry about the influencers and go rant and rave on it. I figured something out. I knew what was coming. So it's always been adapt or die. Like what is happening right now is no different to anything we've, haven't seen before. And look at the music industry when Napster came into the picture, and MP3s and all of that. There were a lot of casualties during that phase, but the music industry survived. Spotify and streaming and all of that
Yeah,
stuff. I mean, I think it's going to be bad with generative AI music now,
yeah, yeah.
but with Hollywood and the whole Hollywood is cooked meme, I don't agree with that for a little while. I think
Really?
Hollywood knows what's going on. Uh, they're working actively behind the scenes for the big shift that they know is coming. And the people who will get screwed are the grips, the gaffers, the first ACs, first ADs, the crews, craft services people. Those people are going to get screwed. You will still have like live productions, like Love Is Blind, Netflix type of shows will still get made. I think you still obviously have sports like Olympics, news, like things. There will be broadcast, Broadcast people, I think, are much safer. But narrative filmmaking crews, it's not looking good for that crowd. And they may have a
But
little bit of time left, but Hollywood behind the scenes is 100% prepping for the transition. And I think Hollywood becomes an algorithm or gets gobbled up by social media companies that own the big algorithms in
I
the
love
long.
this. And I've heard you say this before. You posted this too. Like when you say Hollywood becomes an algorithm, can you like expand on that, or do you have like a clear sense of what that means, or
Well,
just
yeah,
like
from a distribution standpoint, like distribution just almost wholly becomes algorithm based. Because the movie theater thing it's been dying for years. I mean, everyone knows that. Like the physical distribution is now very niche. There are big collector communities and that kind of thing, but nobody's buying. I don't even know what it is now. It was Blu-ray, and then what came next? Like I saw like the
that was
black
it?
boxes. Yeah, it was like I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know if they're
Blu-ray. Yeah.
digital downloads or if they're like 4K discs. I don't even know. Uh, but yeah, I think distribution is wholly algorithm based. I think everything will shrink down to become slop largely. Like you'll see just much shorter form content. Uh, I look at my
Verticals,
83-year-old,
whatnot.
yeah, I look at my 83-year-old dad who just does this all day long. And then I look at the kids who do that all day long. My kids don't do it because we don't allow it. Uh, but I think the millennials are kind of that final generation that we're like the Neo and Morpheus of this Matrix world, and everybody else has got the tube in the mouth. The older generations have the tube in the mouth. Boomers are like cable news, but again, it's still slop. I mean, cable news is absolute slop. Um, a lot of silent generation are becoming addicted to like just the quick. Like my dad's constantly sending me these like, look at this amazing thing. We got to buy this now. I'm like, no, it's a scam. Like, uh, and the younger generations are addicted to like kind of Roblox slop. Uh, Also like just the quick, fast swiping videos and that kind of thing. And I think the millennials are the final generation who have that awareness to know like we need to step back from this. Uh, and we're not the majority of the population in the world. And so I think the end game with Hollywood will be targeting the majority of the population, which is going to be short form slop.
Do you think though that Hollywood's almost too late? I mean, you already have people. Well, first of all, I want to say you've inspired me to like focus more on like making longer form, like finished pieces. Like I really like, I know you are busy and it's not by choice, but the fact that you're making these like finished pieces and putting them out and they're like these little mini movies with tons of detail and like, and thought and intention is like, I think really important. And it will inspire a lot of people who are coming into the space to like, yo, like think about what you're doing and try making something good that's a little longer and that can sustain, you know, I mean, your pieces are like they're like boom, boom. They're so full of detail and attention that they capture your attention all the way through. But it's like a longer form piece, and I mean, like that's what I mean. Like, I want to see that in a movie. Like that would be sick. I don't think movies are dead,
Yeah.
But it just is a matter of like maintaining, attention, which is just like good storytelling and good filmmaking. I think.
Well, I think Hollywood will focus on shows
Hmm.
personally. I think they'll go for series, maybe like 20 some minutes per episode. I think that will be with the generative AI filmmakers. I think that's personally what they're going to shoot for once they start bringing those filmmakers on and actually going into production on these kind of things.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
I
like.
actually, I shifted uh, what I was doing because of Blacklight. Blacklight he's on
Yeah,
X,
yeah.
TikTok. He's doing everything right, and I mean, he's posted a couple of rants to like try to urge people if
Mm,
you want to go forward with this, build your IP now. He's building IP, very
yep.
recognizable IP. He's merging all of his IPs together so that they bounce off of each other. He's doing really well. I think TikTok is like his biggest audience. Like
Okay.
the algo on TikTok, I think really likes his stuff, and like that's where most of his fans are. TikTok. I personally noticed that TikTok are the most positive bunch. I was shocked because the Satoshi Sunrise video on TikTok, it's like almost at 100K. I had a non-existent TikTok account, like no followers, no activity. That started taking off, and it's got hundreds of positive comments, which is a
Nice.
stark
Yeah.
contrast to X, which is death threats. And there was a
Yeah.
YouTube video of a gaming club calling for my arrest for and
No.
saying that, yeah, just like it was unbelievable. I mean, I wasn't emotionally affected by it. I felt sad
No.
for these people, but they were spewing all sorts of false things, like because my guy is like the main character is, it's not Macho Man Randy Savage, it's my cousin, but
Oh,
they're
nice.
talking about how this estate of Macho Man Randy Savage needs to sue Ryan Lightbourn. I need to be in prison because I stole his likeness. And I did not steal his likeness. I made, it's more Ultimate Warrior style
Yeah, it's
Macho
obviously.
Man, and the guy is my cousin. I inserted my family members to make sure that these types, if I really want to and have the time to do it, make a post showing how, my uncle is the bartender, my cousin is the main character.
Nice.
My This guy who was an actor, a really old guy that I was friends with, he's dead now. I stuck him in as the old drunk at the bar. So like it's people I know, it's friends and family, just to protect myself should I need to prove that, you know, I'm not stealing anyone. And there was like there was a crash out. This one guy, Reed Souther or something like that, I think is his name. Yeah, he started posting my stuff, and I started to debate this guy, and then he had a full on crash out and started going off on me, and then talking about how he wants to doesn't want to be on X any longer and all this because I cornered him and he lost his mind. So I don't think those people have much time left, to be honest. I think
Yeah.
Hollywood will flip and they will come out and say it's okay. I mean, they basically, these people believe whatever they're told to believe.
Yeah.
The internet X folks, like the anti-AI crowd and whatnot. I just think that the narratives will start changing, and you will see like media, a lot of the media is owned by these big Hollywood corporations and whatnot, like they're all intertwined. You'll start seeing those narratives evolve over time, and in a couple of months or maybe a year, the anti-AI crowd is just going to be a little band of people
Yeah.
kind of hanging on to that cause. You still see a bunch of people like I'll see like little COVID groups or whatever pop up and say stuff from back then. It's like, dude, just move on. That's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think you're going to see that, but for the most part, the general narrative is going to shift, and just like it
Yep.
did with Bitcoin and the energy usage. I remember the Bitcoin energy usage thing was such a big controversy, and technology is always evolving. Just like with the AI, it's the energy consumption. People go after AI, but the technology is going to evolve. It's going to become more energy efficient. You start to see those narratives dwindle down over time. And I think we see the same thing here. I think the
Yeah.
big anti-AI narrative will dwindle once the corporation starts saying, you know what, it's okay. We're moving into this stuff, and here's why it's okay.
Yeah.
And
I
just
agree
all most of
100%.
that crowd.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of this year, I anticipate is when everyone will get their marching orders like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about like did you see Ben Affleck like sold a company to Netflix where they're like training, they'll take a live production movie, right? And they'll train all that data. They'll train a model on all the data of the movie so then they can like do any special effects or like, B-roll or whatever you need, like you reshoot with the lead, without them being there. Like you just train on
Oh yeah.
everything. That to me signals like, well, there's still some juice left in the live. I mean, although it's going to be much smaller niche, but the live production or live movies.
But
But
what you're seeing there is what is going to happen with production. Like the post production you're talking
mm,
about, like pickups and that kind of thing. Production is going to be inference training.
mm,
For me personally, it would be extremely helpful to have actors, sets, that kind of thing trained into a model. I don't know if I would do sets, but definitely actors trained into models, their likeness, their voices, certain performances. It would be so helpful for those little nuances, which as a director, you're not always able to achieve with generative AI. Sometimes you strike gold and it's like, oh my God, it actually pulled it off. But as a director, it's sort of painful to see these performances come out and it's not doing exactly what you want. Whereas with an actor and you're on set, you're able to tweak such minor little details that you believe are important or like really bring out whatever emotion you're trying to convey. So I do think you'll see. I think that's where it goes for narrative filmmaking is that the actors are used in pre-production, trained into models, and production takes place on machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Dude. Holy crap. I mean, we can call it because this is this is so good every time I
It's too
talk to you,
much.
man. No, it's
Yeah.
so good. I love it. I love it. There's like uh a million amazing like ideas that you brought up. This is all great. I mean, I mean kind of like to start wrapping up, like do you I I know filmmaking is not your full-time job, but like if are you open to like doing it full time if it's like the right, are you over it? Are you still interested?
Oh
Like do
no,
you
no,
want to
no.
do a series? Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing about this, the thing about what I'm doing right now is like this is drawing out so much suppressed passion and creativity that's been dead inside of me for so long that I didn't even
Hmm.
know was still there. Uh, I've never felt more creative and alive and passionate than I have, like right now creating with generative AI because I can literally do anything I want as if I have a completely unlimited budget, uh, full creative control. So it's shown that the passion doesn't actually die within a person. I know a lot of filmmakers who move on for various reasons. I mean, most do eventually. It's an industry that was so cutthroat. So, like the hours were crazy. You start having kids and you want to settle down. Like it's not the greatest. Maybe it's like an executive producer or something. But if you're like on set all the time, it's brutal.
It's
Uh,
brutal.
yeah, and like the best part of, or at least like the only way I could have continued filmmaking is with the social media spots because those were pretty tame. I mean, it was like 6 to 8 hour days max. I like a lot of times people talk about like toxicity within once you kind of move up the ranks and that kind of thing. Like you can find brands that the people are just so nice. Everybody you work with is amazing. And it's just like a joy to do. Like you don't feel like you're at work at all. And that was there and that would have been okay. And I would have continued that. But like I said, the influencer thing, I knew that the days were numbered for that side of the industry. I don't think I could have become a narrative film director and stuck with that through my 40s. I don't think I would have done that with
Yeah.
wife and kids. And I yeah, my favorite thing in the world is to live vicariously through my children and just watch
Hmm.
their joy and do things with my kids and watch them grow up and have time to spend with them. Uh, and the generative AI stuff is definitely draining. So if I were to go into like a show or a film or something like that, I think I would have to limit that because I can just see what it's doing to my brain. Like I can feel what it's doing to my body, like my crunching shoulder from slouching over a screen all the time. You talked about you have a standing desk, right?
Yeah, dude.
I definitely would need to do something like that. Uh, but yeah, I mean, if I do this full time, it becomes the career, then I would probably do 2 to 3 years max, just because I feel like I don't know, I think it like pulls your soul out of you. It's
Dude, will you talk? I was talking to another guy about like burnout from like grinding and AI, and it's so
yeah,
interesting to hear you say that. This is something that's like so new, but like I feel like when I'm like generating and you're inspired and you're seeing stuff that's blowing your mind, you're like, holy shit, you're so excited. It's this simultaneous like excitement and energy, but you also feel something being drained from your brain. And sometimes I'm like, is this like okay? Like, am I literally having my creativity drained out? Like, am I being, is it like training
it
on
is
our
like your soul
fucking,
is being pulled out. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's something to it. There's absolutely. I talked to somebody else a couple of weeks ago, who's a generative AI creator, and he said the same thing. There's definitely something to that that alarms me, honestly. I mean,
yeah,
I worry about the people who do this for more than a couple of years. That if you're going to do this for 10 and 20 years, I feel like it could take a toll on your mental health for sure. Like
Yeah.
there's what you just said is exactly it. I mean, there's something to that, and I can feel it and I can see it,
Yeah.
and my wife can see it. She can see it in my eyes. She brings it up, and I know.
Fuck.
I tell her, I'm like, I know what you're about to say. So again, that's why this stuff for me is it's limited. And I think if you're in your 20s or something like that, that's one thing. You don't have kids. It's probably okay to spend a little longer on this, but yeah, I don't know. That side of it kind of scares me a little bit.
I wonder also though if it's like, if you can like go out and like touch grass, like I think if and also refilling the well, like, I read a lot. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna stop reading because it really helps. And it definitely gives me ideas. So like I wonder if it's like finding a balance. Like you can't just sit there and grind because it's gonna suck out every cool idea you have and trade on it, and then you got nothing. So it's like constantly like being outside, being with people, like living,
Oh yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
work-life balance it's always important, but this to me, like the feeling that I get is something different.
Yeah,
Something that
man.
is a little scary. We don't talk
Yeah.
about this enough in the AI community.
No,
I
I
don't think
know.
anyone's ever made a big post about this, but I think it's becoming more, well known.
Yeah.
Starting to chat about it out off of X, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just something that like we don't want to like one of us to just go absolutely off the charts crazy because of whatever this is that we're talking about. We need to come up with some kind of name for it. But
Totally. Yeah.
that's the biggest con for me with the whole generative AI thing is whatever
Yeah.
that train is, the
Yeah.
fatigue.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's
All
not
right,
like
man.
oh yeah. You wrap
No,
it
no,
up.
please go.
No,
Well,
I was
no,
gonna
what were
say
you?
it's not like when you're filmmaking, you have like a 20-hour
Yeah,
day and you just crash and you wake up and you make coffee and eat breakfast and you kind of sleep it off. This is just different. It's something
dude,
fresh.
I was literally just talking to this producer now. We were wondering if it's like when you're on set with a bunch of people, you're like not to sound too like woo woo, but like there is energy exchange. You're talking to people, you're bouncing ideas, there's momentum, you're moving, you're exercising,
Yeah.
there's energy. So there's something that's like going. Whereas if you're in front of a fucking computer sitting grinding for 10 hours, waiting for shit, it's like there's something not good about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep getting the word out there. We'll let
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
so that none of us
Get,
get
get,
lost.
get the support group going.
Yeah.
All right, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. This is always so insightful, so interesting. It's cool to get your thoughts on everything. Really
It was
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure, man.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, man. Take care. Be
All right.
well. And
Chat
all
soon.
right.
You too.
Yeah,
Later.
later, dude.
We're making slop, cooking up some slop. Come and get your slop.